Happy February 24th, JLD here, and welcome to Strategy Today. In this show, we talk about a poll for the name of this show. We talk about Michael Saylor buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin. We talk about M2 money supply and what it means. And then we talk about the Bitcoin per share over the past 4 years for MSTR holders, what it's done, and why the future is so bullish. But guess what? This video is not financial advice. Please do comment below. I want to know where you're watching from, what you're doing, what you're thinking about, any comments, questions you have. Great conversations happening in the comment section. So thank you for those comments. Even if it's just comment for support, I thank you. And let's dive on in. All right, we're going to kick off with a poll that I put out yesterday that's going to help determine the name of this show going forward. I was recently approached by the gentleman, Matt, who produces MSTR Daily, which is a video show all about MicroStrategy, about Michael Saylor. He's been producing the show for quite some time, and he decided he is no longer going to do videos about MSTR. He's going to instead focus on a newsletter, and I'll be sharing more about that later because this newsletter is no doubt going to be awesome. But he basically said, hey, I love what you're doing with your show, Strategy Today. I want to offer you my name of my show if you want it. And so I said, hey, well, let me go to my viewers. Let me go to the people that actually watch this show and see what they think is best. So I put this poll out yesterday. I have the 4 names: Strategy Today, MSTR Today, Strategy Daily, and MSTR Daily. So these are the 2 bottom ones are the ones that Matt's essentially, quote unquote, has. This is what he's been using. He started off with MSTR Daily. He switched to Strategy Daily once the brand name was changed from MicroStrategy to Strategy. But he's kind of been going back and forth between these 2 ever since. I've been Strategy Today I've been MicroStrategy Today from day one, and then at Strategy Today was what I switched to on branding day. But I've always liked the idea as well of MSTR Today because, that is a much clearer search term for obvious reasons, because strategy is such a broad, vague term where MSTR is only strategy. It's only Michael Saylor. It's only the MicroStrategy of old. So I put this poll out. There's currently 549 votes. I'd love to get as many as possible from you, the viewer, who on what you think it should be. Right now, you can see Strategy Today is winning, which is cool to see. But at the same time, I'd love to know what the majority of people really feel. There's been some good comments below with some ideas. So if you have an idea, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what your ideas are for the potential future name of this show. Are we going to keep it the same as Strategy Today? Should we maybe switch it to MSTR Today to make sure that we're locking in some better search terms for the future people on YouTube that are going to be searching for this company after it blows up a 10x, and you and I are just sitting back smiling. So I'd love to get your feedback. And again, there's some great comments here as well. I'm reading all the comments. I'm responding to all the comments to make this final decision based on your help. So I'll put the link to this poll right below in the show notes. You can just look right below this video in the more section, in the show notes section, and just click on the link and it'll take you right here. I would love your feedback. I would love your thoughts. I would love your comments. And let's keep on moving. All right, today's first post is coming at you from Michael Saylor. I don't think this reflects what I got done last week. And I wanted to repost this again because, Michael Saylor is just relentless and there's going to be some exciting dots here. And he posted this one. I'm quite positive because there's going to be a very big orange dot coming for his multi-billion-dollar buy of last week. So we'll see that. And there's some posts about this that I wanted to dive into. Adam shares over 500,000 Bitcoin stacked by MSTR. 1 million is in reach. This stock is cheap right now. Like, this stock is cheap. Look at this relentless buying. Oh man. And then what have we been doing over here? I love this. Such exciting times. And then Jeff shares, do you all realize how freaking strong this balance sheet is? And it is an absolute fortress with a moat around it the size of the Pacific Ocean. Matt says, how wild would it be if MSTR announces the close of last week's 2.3 billion converts before the open, then announce a new convert offering for 2031 at the close? This is honestly just the level that Michael Saylor is operating on. And Josh posts below, with private placements, it's theoretically possible. The buyers of the previous tranche would no doubt have asked about the pipeline. The smartest money wants to go last. So we'll see what happens. Today could be interesting. The Bitcoin Therapist shares, you're bearish on the guy that acquired 500,000 Bitcoin in 4 years and 100x'd his company. Do you understand how incredibly stupid that sounds? And this is just in 4 years. Step back, zoom out, take deep breaths, my friend. Oh, the future. I love it. I can't wait. Jeff says, Magnificent Seven out here diddling with their 100 billion plus tech infrastructure. Little do they know, low cost, efficient digital capital, aka Bitcoin, aka MSTR, is about to slingshot past them like a meteor in the night's sky. This post by Adam is all about the ultimate reason to be long MSTR, because it is the only equity in the market that algorithmically absorbs M2 money expansion. M2 growth equals the slow death of every fiat currency. M2 money supply, M2, represents the total broad money circulating in an economy, including physical cash, demand deposits, savings accounts, money market funds. Since 1971, global M2 has expanded at an exponential rate, debasing every fiat currency at an average of 10 to 15% per year in developed economies. Data. USD M2 growth 2008 to 2023, 9.7% CAGR, compound annual growth rates. M2, global M2 growth from 2020 to 2023, 14.5% CAGR. Come on. M2 expansion in crisis years, 20% plus, 2020, 2008, and 1970s. M2 growth is an unrelenting constant because fiat systems must expand to avoid collapse. Here's the breakthrough insight. Bitcoin is the only financial instrument in existence that algorithmically absorbs M2 global money, M2 expansion. Unlike equities, which suffer from earnings compression during stagflation, bonds, which get obliterated by rate hikes, and real estate, which is deeply tied to credit markets, Bitcoin operates outside the fiat system entirely, which makes it the purest beneficiary of perpetual monetary expansion. So, what happens when you take a publicly traded entity, MSTR, and use it as an ever-growing Bitcoin acquisition machine? MSTR becomes a public market proxy for Bitcoin's M2 repricing algorithm. As long as we have the Federal Reserve printing money ad infinitum, MSTR market cap dominance will grow at breakneck speeds. Oh, man. Adam dropping value bombs again. And then Chris shares, since 2020, Strategy has almost tripled the amount of Bitcoin shareholders own per share. In other words, for every one Bitcoin shareholders owned in 2020, they now own 3 Bitcoin. And look at the Strategy Bitcoin per share year over year. 2020, 2021, big jump. 2022 and 23, just little increases here. In 2024, when Saylor and team figured things out on the next level, taking it to the next level. And 2025 is going to be a pretty candle as well. Just you wait. The Bitcoin Therapist, I loved this because he posted this back on May 4th of 2024. Remember this pullback? We're going higher. And he posted, I like the stock. And this was after MSTR went whoop, and then shot to the moon. It was somewhere, I think, around $2,000 per share here. This was before the 10-to-1 split. And then after the 10-to-1 split, it just went like that. And Bitcoin Therapist, this was, I think, close to like a 40 to 50% drop. And the Bitcoin Therapist posted right here. You can see where it was at this point. I like the stock. This man or woman or person has been consistent. He is consistently promoting MSTR, MicroStrategy, strategy. He's been seeing it. I've been seeing it. And for all of you that own it, you're seeing the future. So let's go. And let's have Michael Saylor break down rule number 8 of Bitcoin. Actually, rule number 9 of Bitcoin. So Michael, take it away.
You know, there's a classic phrase in the world. You know, only invest the money you can afford to lose. If I ran a casino with the deck stacked against you, I would put that as a disclaimer in my ads. Come to my casino, but only gamble the money you can afford to lose. If I ran some sort of, investment company scam and I wanted to take your money and buy swampland in Florida, or I wanted to gamble on a bunch of companies I didn't understand, I say, hey, only invest the money you can afford to lose. When you actually say only invest the money you can afford to lose in my crypto token or my casino or in my investment whatever or my idea, you're making a moral equivalence to gambling with the odds against you, right? You're basically saying there's nothing better about what I'm offering than any foolish game that you're likely to lose. If I run a bar, and you ask me, well, how's your bar? I said, well, we serve really good drinks, but you should probably only come here on evenings when you don't have to work the next day. That's honest, right? You're going to get drunk in my bar. You're going to underperform the next day. I'm being honest with you. But, nobody ever said, hey, only put the kids on the school bus that you don't need me to return. Only buy a ticket on my airplane if you don't need to reach the destination. Right? The engineers of the world don't say, hey, don't drive across my bridge if you really need to reach the other side. And so what I say is only buy Bitcoin with the money you can't afford to lose. I'm not going to equivocate. You shouldn't equivocate. People that equivocate don't understand Bitcoin, and they still don't get the idea of perfect money. We didn't invest in it because we wanted to take a risk. We invested it and in it, out of disgust with the world that forces us to take risk with everything else, where the risks are stacked against us and undisclosed. Bitcoin's better.
And there you have it, another episode of Strategy Today. And today's Monday, so we're doing Moonshot Mondays. We're going over the upcoming catalysts. And as you can see here, we have the MSCI quarterly rebalance. This is an index fund. It's happening in just 7 days. So we will see where MSTR lands on that. We have the Russell Index Day, just 65 days away. MSTR Worlds coming up on May 5th, which is 70 days away. Always exciting times there. The Q1 earnings call, which is the last FASB window, happens in just 71 days. It is coming up almost at the 2-month countdown. So exciting times are ahead. Remember, this video is not financial advice, but please do comment below if you got value from this video. I love your comments. They're the lifeblood of this channel. Where you're watching from, what you're thinking, commenting for support. Thank you so much. Likes and shares, always appreciated as well. And remember that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So make sure to curate those people very well, especially as we go forward here into what's going to be a crazy year, both to the upside and to the downside. You have to surround yourself with those right people. I'm honored that you're choosing me to spend some time with today. So thank you for that. And as Michael Saylor is known to say, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.